Imagine you're the victim of a serious crime, as serious as rape or child grooming, and you receive a letter telling you that the perpetrator who harmed you is going to be let out of prison early, including some of the most serious crimes imaginable, thanks to the changes that have been made to our sentencing laws by this Labour government, helped by the Liberal Democrats.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Julian Discourse. You know how when someone gets caught creating a massive disaster, their immediate instinct is to blame absolutely anyone else? That is exactly the Labour Party's playbook right now. In this explosive clip, watch a Labour minister try to dodge accountability for their terrifying policy of releasing violent criminals early, only for the Speaker of the House to completely shut down their pathetic deflections on live television. Hit subscribe, and let's watch the political establishment get humiliated in real time.
Dr. Kieran Mullan.
Imagine you're the victim of a serious crime, as serious as rape or child grooming, and you receive a letter telling you that the perpetrator who harmed you is going to be let out of prison early. Appallingly, this is the experience right now for thousands of victims of crime, including some of the most serious crimes imaginable, thanks to the changes that have been made to our sentencing laws by this Labour government, helped by the Liberal Democrats.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've listened to the Honourable Member on this issue a lot, and I must once again remind him of his record in government and why the Sentencing Act was an absolute necessity to keep the criminal justice system functioning. There is no alternative that has been offered by the opposition to the prison crisis that they created. There is a choice. Strict...
Can I just help? But we don't need to worry about what their position is. The question is to yourself and about what you're going to do. As I've also got a constituent that got a letter. So I've got to say it's very serious across the country. Point of order, Dr. Kieran Mullan.
I genuinely seek your guidance and support, Mr. Speaker. I've submitted multiple written questions, FOI requests. We've had a name day question on this matter that was due to be answered on Friday, which the government has refused to answer as it should. The Minister said that the information we're after is in the impact assessment. That is not true. There is not the information on the number of offenders in terms of rapists and child groomers being answered. How do we in the public get answers to these very basic, incredibly important questions?
Look, what I would suggest is, I'm sure the bench has heard there's outstanding questions that should have been answered. I'm quite disappointed if it is the case. It should be answered. Members of Parliament put questions down to ministers, and ministers are answerable to this House. Not when they feel like answering it or when they get round to it. That is totally unacceptable. I hope that they will go back and check the records to make sure letters have been returned, answered, and also questions. But name day questions mean it's in the title, should be answered on a name day. So look, what I would say is, it's been heard, I'm sure that can be rectified today, and I'm sure if it's not, the answer is there are many avenues, including coming back to this House, because I do believe there are questions to be answered. All MPs should be told, not who, but how many may be released within their constituencies. I just say to the Minister, it's bad for all MPs, and MPs, quite rightly, need to represent their constituents. The sooner we help them, the sooner that this House will be in a better place. I will leave it at that for now.
What you just witnessed in Parliament is the exact moment the Labour government's strategy of total evasion completely collapsed. When the Speaker of the House has to publicly humiliate a minister for refusing to answer basic questions, you are no longer watching standard political theatre. You are watching a government actively trying to cover up the terrifying reality of its own policies. To understand why Conservative MP Dr. Kieran Mullan was so furious, we have to look back at the disastrous SDS40 early release scheme that Labour pushed through in September 2024. Using prison overcrowding as an excuse, this government made the radical choice to release thousands of criminals after they had served just 40% of their sentences. Labour promised the public that serious sexual offenders would be strictly excluded. But as Dr. Mullan exposed, victims of some of the most horrific crimes imaginable, including rape and child grooming, are right now receiving letters stating their attackers are being led back onto the streets. Yet, when asked for the exact data, the Labour government dodges freedom of information requests, ignores mandatory parliamentary deadlines, and lazily points the finger at the previous Conservative administration. You cannot blame your predecessor when you are the one actively rewriting sentencing laws and hiding the data. They know exactly how many dangerous offenders are slipping through this chaotic system, but they refuse to release the numbers because the public backlash would be unsurvivable. The political establishment expects ordinary citizens to quietly absorb the physical risks of their justice experiments while they hide behind procedural excuses in Westminster. But the era of polite deflection is over. Thank you for watching Julian Discourse. If you refuse to let the establishment hide the truth, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and I'll see you next time.